Greetings, adventurers! This is your guide GM Mayhem, bringing you decades of RPG wisdom from behind the screen. Today, we're diving deep into strategies for speeding up your game when combat starts to drag. With over 30 years of experience running epic battles, I've got plenty of insider tips to share. We've all been there. What started as an action-packed encounter bogs down into a slog of repetitive rolls, players zoning out between turns, and tedium setting in. But with the right techniques, you can keep combat snappy, engaging, and energetic. In this extended guide, we'll cover streamlining initiative order, adding engaging terrain, imposing time limits, creating combat variety, encouraging tactical plans, tracking monster HP efficiently, handling large groups in waves. Let's do a deep dive into initiative order and turn sequencing. A few easy changes provide major pacing boosts. First, clustering similar enemy types tightens lookups. All the orcs act on 15, the archers go on 14, etc. Additionally, have enemies delay to consolidate into logical blocks. Sequencing players together also optimizes momentum for strategizing and combo moves. Encourage delaying to group up PCs. You want initiative tent poles, blocks of allies then enemies prevents constant back and forth. Now what trip-ups have you encountered implementing initiative tent poles? Trouble tracking when delayed turns re-enter? Here's a simple solution: write delayed PC initiatives in a list for reinserting later. Just be sure enemy blocks have shared initiatives, not individual ones. Okay, let's move on to dynamic terrain and environments to electrify your table. This should go beyond plain battle maps. Think multi-phase boss arenas, destructible objects, evolving layouts over time. Interactive elements force creative thinking and closer coordination. How's your terrain usage? Share your best tips in the comments. Destructible environments immediately raise engagement. Include precarious statues, explosive barrels, chandeliers to cut loose onto foes. Lean into multi-phase boss fights too, like crumbling temple floors revealing nether pits below. Enhance maps over time, ignite flammable ground, melt icy patches into slippery puddles, tear down vine-covered walls. Keeping the arena in flux fuels fresh strategizing round to round. I cannot overstate how transformative active environments are. Now let's explore even more terrain types to challenge your players. Dense foliage enables stealthy flanking. Slippery ice introduces dex checks. Heavy fog banks limit ranged attacks. Elevation adds new dimensions too: fight on staircases, steep hills, rope bridges between platforms. Venture into surreal magical realms. Reverse gravity pockets, walls of force section off areas. Anti-magic zones limit casters, while teleportation circles allow blinking around the arena. Environments can be incredible domains of creative potential. On that note, let's diversify objectives beyond just defeating enemies. Defend key NPCs or locations from assault. Stop undead from resurrecting a lich before ritual completion. Disrupt enemy channeling attempts on focal points. Unlock sealed gates barring escape by solving arcane puzzles mid-fight. Race to acquire artifacts in enemy lairs before villains can reclaim them. Escape complex death traps like slowly flooding gauntlets. Pursue assassination targets retreating deeper into fortified domains. The possibilities are endless. Optimizing monster roles is another key area. Give different types distinct battle responsibilities beyond basic attacks. Designate enemies as frontline defenders to hold choke points. Assign archers and spellcasters as backline damage dealers. Include mobile harassers to disrupt formations. Mixing up monster behavior also adds diversity. Have some foes fight with preservation instincts, fleeing at low HP, build in rivalries between enemy types that impact coordination. Designate tacticians directing less intelligent creatures. Now let's dive deeper into time pressure tactics. Visible doomsday clocks are great, but subtle urgency works too. Have enemy reinforcements slowly overrun a kingdom while the party quests. demonstrate villains progressing evil plans while distracted PCs dungeon crawl. Timers can ratchet up in phases rather than staying static too. As ritual casters channel longer, increase environmental effects like violent magical winds, earthquakes, summon creatures. Escalate the visible manifestations of impending disaster. Alright, let's explore diversifying objectives further with multi-phase encounters. Set an initial goal like disrupt the ritual circle. Once achieved, the terrain evolves with new goals like stop the demon summoning. Chaining objectives together drives a dynamic, evolving narrative. Build and branching end states too. If the party saves the hostages, the villain unleashes a devastating contingency. But if they ignore the hostages to defeat the boss, the civilians become casualties. Different paths lead to impacts that shape the story going forward. For tracking monster HP, don't just use damage thresholds. Visual cues work great too. Describe enemies sporting visible injuries like limping gaits, severed limbs, cracked carapace. Mark conditions like bleeding, stunned, frightened. This conveys progression without hard HP numbers. Wow, we covered so much today. But our time is up. Quick recap: streamline initiative, make terrain dynamic, impose time pressure, diversify goals, track HP efficiently. Get these fundamentals down and combat will fly. This is GM Mayhem signing off. Let me know your top speed combat tips below. Join me next time for even more RPG mastery. The dice await, brave adventurers.